hatred remains encased in the mesh. Blood starts to thicken as it enters through your chest. React as the dirt vortex one. Pain from below, cuts from above. A closed in box as your loved ones gather round. Screams of agony slow into the ground.
Why has Triple H been so successful? Why is Triple H running WWE better than Vince McMahon and Bruce Pritchard on Monday and Friday night? Long-term booking.
What is going on, guys? Thank you so very much for joining me right here on Off the Script. This is your Monday Night Raw Post Show for September 15th, 2025. I am your host, JD from New York. As always, coming to you live from the OTS Beard Garden. Thank you guys so very much for joining me on this Monday evening, wherever you may be. I am sorry the intro got botched. Apparently, my Rodecaster Pro wanted to shit the fucking bed. It's a piece of shit. It's a piece of shit. Fucking piece of shit equipment. Literally had it on for 4 hours. As I sat here watching Raw, I even had it on before dinner, and everything was working. I sit down to do the fucking show, and the fucking thing wants to crap out. You're a fucking piece of shit. I don't even know why I own you. $600 for a piece of fucking garbage. That's what you are. Ridiculous. I hate when things don't go right, when you know you got everything going the way that it should be going. Now I'm pissed off, which should make for an entertaining review. Hologram, I would gladly sell it to you, bro, so I can go buy a new fucking piece of equipment, because this is a piece of shit. Never buy. This is a PSA, folks. Never buy anything the moment it's released. Never. That's what I did with this steaming pile of shit. You fucking asshole. Do I sound okay? Don't understand it. I don't understand why these things happen, bro. First and foremost, I want to send my thoughts and condolences and my prayers and my love, most importantly, to our man on Tuesday nights, the Solid Monster, Jason Solomon. He's dealing with a family situation at home with one of his relatives, and he was in the hospital. Jason wasn't, but his family relative was in the hospital yesterday, and Jason spent a lot of his day in the hospital with his family yesterday. Situation happened at his relative's home. If you guys want to go listen to the sound off, he talks about it at the top and what he's been dealing with. I just simply want to say that my thoughts and prayers and our thoughts and prayers from the OTS family are with Jason and his family. I told him yesterday if he needs anything from me, I would gladly assist in any way that I can. Brother, you are very, very important to us, as is anyone surrounding you. And we love you, and we hope everything works itself out. So we love you here, bro, and we greatly, greatly appreciate you, as always. Thoughts and prayers and love to the Solid Monster. Monday Night Raw. You know, I don't know how many more weeks, chat, I can take of the same main event every single week on this show. I am completely worn down. This is like Judgment Day version 1 all over again. Like Judgment Day version 1 all over again when they were feuding with Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn and Cody Rhodes. It's like every fucking week it's the same main event. LA Knight versus Braun Breaker. LA Knight versus Bronson Reed. Jey Uso versus Bronson Reed. Jey Uso versus Braun Breaker. Jimmy Uso and LA Knight versus the Bronze. Jey Uso and LA Knight versus the Bronze. Then maybe we get, if we're lucky enough, CM Punk and Seth Rollins in the mix, and we get a 6-man tag team match with the same fucking people every single week. Or maybe it's a fatal 4-way or a gauntlet match. Every single week, this show has the same main event every single week. Something needs to be done. Are the only top stars on this show Seth Rollins and CM Punk? Now you know how valuable Gunther is to Monday Night Raw. You see what the main event scene has deteriorated into without Gunther on the show. Yet this is the same company that has AJ Styles, who is a proverbial main event guy, feuding with something that is very similar and reminiscent to the Four Doinks from 1993. They got a quintessential main event elite performer in AJ Styles fucking around with Four Doinks, a.k.a. Four Americanos. And I'm not talking about the Office's Starbucks order. The one thing I will say in regards to tonight's show, they wanted to string along a 2.5-hour show-long story with Jey Uso and LA Knight. Those are the types of shows that I'm more invested in than anything because it gives you a reason to watch. WWE knew that they needed people to stick with them. I don't know if that's going to be the reason why people stick with them. You know, Jey Uso and LA Knight. Oh man, let me go watch that over the Buccaneers and the Texans tonight on Monday Night Football. Yeah, get the fuck out of here. I don't give a shit, but many millions of people do. When the show has a show-long storyline weaved throughout the entire show, the show is a better show. Maybe Tony Khan should take a fucking note or two instead of giving us 5 matches with no fucking reason why they're happening. I thought tonight's show was okay. It wasn't bad. If you thought tonight was a bad show, then you're just grifting, as the cool kids say on social media. It wasn't a bad show. It was a very entertaining show, very lively crowd in Springfield, Massachusetts. We got some very good matches on tonight's show. And the storyline throughout tonight's show is Jey Uso and LA Knight and the tension that is arising between them. Now Jimmy Uso is getting involved because Jimmy feels Jey is acting not like himself. LA Knight still wants payback for what Jey Uso did to him. LA Knight still wants a piece of the bronze, Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed. He can't go at it alone, though. So Adam Pearce tonight told him to go find a tag team partner. And he chose Jimmy Uso. Now, Jimmy Uso was put in a situation tonight where he also wants a piece of the bronze, but he knows he's getting a piece of the bronze in 5 days at WrestlePalooza on Saturday in Indianapolis. On ESPN, by the way, which WWE clearly let you know multiple times tonight. He didn't want to betray his brother because Jey has a problem right now with LA Knight. So when LA Knight asked Jimmy to be his tag team partner tonight, Jimmy told him, no, I can't do that. You're going to get yours. I'm going to get mine on Saturday. Everything's going to be fine. You got to go find somebody else, though. Then Jey Uso started ordering Jimmy Uso around tonight. And before Jimmy could tell him that he told LA Knight no, Jimmy was forcefully telling, you can't team with LA Knight. You have to tell him no. Meanwhile, Jimmy's already told him no. Jimmy's being bossy. Jimmy's got a very one-track mind here. He's not thinking as a team. He's thinking as Jey Uso. So Jimmy told him, bro, your attitude is way out of line. I don't see an ulafala around your neck. Who the fuck are you ordering around the way you are? Then he went to LA Knight, did Jimmy Uso, and Jimmy said, you know what? I'm going to take you up on your offer. I'm going to team with you tonight against the Bronze, against the Vision. So I did like the fact that they weave this storyline throughout the entire show. I thought it was something we haven't seen in quite some time with WWE. It's usually just random matches and very, very little story kind of thrown in there across the 2.5 hours, but tonight, they really want to sell you on going into the pay-per-view. What are the tensions between the brothers now going up against the Vision? How is LA Knight going to factor into all this? We got the same main event. And in the end, LA Knight, he said everything was all right, cool, shook Jay's hand, and then delivered a BFT out of nowhere. And LA Knight presumably teased a heel turn. Now, I don't know if the fans are going to really portray LA Knight as a heel immediately, but we did talk about this last week. And a lot of people were like, did Jey Uso tease a heel turn? No, Jey Uso did not tease a heel turn. Everybody was clearly and very much enjoying yeeting tonight in Springfield, Massachusetts. Jey Uso, there is no chance of him turning heel. Outside of a CM Punk and Cody Rhodes and a Roman Reigns, I mean, Jey Uso was easily, as a full-time guy, probably top 3 full-time. If you want to add Roman Reigns in there, who works part-time, he works 5 matches a year. He's definitely top 5 babyface in the company. LA Knight's on that list, too. But Jey Uso turning heel is a bad business move. The merchandise that he sells, the environment that he creates in the arenas that WWE could sell to an ESPN and a Peacock and all these different platforms. They don't want to turn Jey Uso heel. I don't want to see Jey Uso heel. I don't think anybody wants to see Jey Uso heel. Plus, the Usos just got back together. What good would that do? If anybody was going to turn heel out of the 2 here, it would be LA Knight. And that's apparently what they are teasing. It's not official by any means tonight because we can turn around next week and LA Knight says, I got you back. We're going to be playing tit for tat here. This is just a war going back and forth. Who's got the last laugh? It's going to take something a little bit more substantial for LA Knight to really solidify himself as a heel and no longer a babyface. So we'll definitely see what happens on Saturday, as I could see LA Knight getting involved and we swing that door open definitely to one side over the other. But I did enjoy the show-long storyline with them weaved in through tonight's Monday Night Raw. The other big thing that happened tonight was CM Punk and AJ Lee. Final face-to-face with Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch. I quite enjoyed myself. I thought that was a great segment. AJ Lee took a big manhandle slam tonight. First bump of her WWE return. This was after 10 years being away. Becky, she made a mention of reading AJ Lee's book. And she made a mention of what AJ Lee said in that book about her neck. How that neck is going to hold up. And the reason why she stepped away, one of the reasons why she stepped away was because of that neck. Becky Lynch obviously looked to expose that. And I do feel that's going to come into play on Saturday, which is a good storyline element. AJ Lee took a big back bump tonight with the manhandle slam, and then Becky slapped around CM Punk once again in a little troll job that the heels played on the baby faces, and that was a very good final sell for this great mixed tag team match that I'm very much looking forward to. I think the energy is going to be off the charts in Indianapolis on Saturday. I don't know where we go from here, but I don't want to say I know for sure, but I genuinely think that after what we see on Saturday, I do think that CM Punk could be taking a few weeks away. Because I don't really know what CM Punk does coming out of this. I do feel they need to keep everybody strong and at the same time have this move on into something else. Now, I don't know what WWE is doing as far as Crown Jewel is concerned. And this is what I want to talk about as far as CM Punk taking a few weeks off. I don't know what WWE is going to do going into Crown Jewel. If you guys remember last year in Saudi Arabia, when WWE had Crown Jewel, we had the Crown Jewel championships up for grabs. I don't know if that's going to be the case this year. Is that just a Saudi thing, or is that something that goes in line with these shows, these Crown Jewel shows? If WWE does Crown Jewel, and we see those Crown Jewel championships on the line, we could be looking at Seth Rollins versus Cody Rhodes for the Crown Jewel championship, champion versus champion. Again, I don't know if that's the case. As far as the women's championships are concerned, it should be Io winning the championship against Tiffany Stratton. We could see that take place in Perth, Australia. Rhea Ripley versus Asuka is something else that I would absolutely explore if we go to Perth, Australia, because Rhea Ripley undoubtedly is going to be on that show. Why she's not on WrestlePalooza, I don't know. What I'm trying to get at is, if WWE continues the tradition of the Crown Jewel Championships, this would give CM Punk a few weeks of respite, not needing to be on Perth, not needing to be on Crown Jewel, keep him off TV until the build for Survivor Series, and then he could lead his team of men against Seth Rollins and The Vision inside War Games. Just a little observation. Just a little observation. Now, I could be completely off base. I could be completely wrong, and we just go Rhea and Io for the championship, and Rhea wins the championship in Perth and becomes the new women's champion. However you want to look at it, it is definitely going to be an interesting situation going into the Perth Crown Jewel show coming out of WrestlePalooza. JD, it will be champion versus champion at Crown Jewel. Okay. Oh, well, we don't know that for sure. I'm just sparking discussion. You guys do what you want to do with that information. I could be right. I could be wrong. I'm just giving you a situation. I do think that Becky Lynch is going to continue her feud with AJ Lee going into Perth, Australia. And I do think that will be the obvious direction for the Intercontinental Championship. John Cena. John Cena's last time ever in Springfield, Massachusetts. This is the only time WWE will be visiting Massachusetts on this final trek in the last 6 appearances of John Cena on WWE television. Next week, we're in New York City, Madison Square Garden. I think that's the case. No, is that November? I don't know where they are next week. Who knows where they are next week? I know he's got one in New York City coming up as well. I think that's November. But John Cena was on the show tonight, and he cut his typical promo. Babyface promo, triumphant promo, hustle, loyalty, and respect. In no way, shape, or form have we even been given an explanation as to why Brock Lesnar attacked John Cena at SummerSlam. We got no explanation from Brock on Friday. He wanted to twerk and rip his pants in an awful segment with R-Truth on SmackDown. John Cena got F5'd the week before that against Sami Zayn. Sami got some damage as well from Brock. He was in the line of fire and took a stray bullet. There has been no effort at all to give us an explanation. Now, I still received messages and I still received comments and tweets. Oh, but JD, Brock Lesnar doesn't need an explanation to do what he does. JD, he's Brock Lesnar. JD from NY062. Thank you for expressing how unintelligent you are, fellow Twitter virgin. Everything you do needs an explanation. The most important question in this entire thing is why. Why do you do anything? You got to give a reason as to why you do something. Why do you make a cup of coffee every morning, JD? I don't know, man. I like it. It gives me a reason of enjoying the morning. I enjoy to do something in the morning, man. It's like a ritual to me. Instead of sitting here, I experiment and fiddle with my coffee, and I make myself feel useful. And it gives me something to learn. It gets my brain going in the morning. I write in my coffee journal what coffee I'm using, what settings I'm using to grind the beans, what setting I'm using to put into the machine so the espresso comes out the way that it needs to, what temperature the espresso's coming out, if I'm doing any pre-infusion, which means the puck gets wet before the actual espresso is extracted from the puck. For you coffee geeks out there. I write all this down so that when I use the beans again, if I want to buy them, everything is written in my coffee journal. Did you see how I gave you an explanation on why I make my coffee the way that I make my coffee in the morning and why I enjoy making my coffee the way I make my coffee in the morning? There's an explanation behind it. JD, why do you go to bed so late? I usually go to bed at 3:30 in the morning. Usually around 3:30, 4 o'clock. I don't get to bed after the stream is over. My brain's going. JD, why don't you get to bed at an earlier hour and wake up a little bit more refreshed? Why are you always tired? Because I opt to sit here after the stream is over and I play Destiny 2 on my PlayStation 5 for 3 hours before I go to bed. Because it's the only time during the day that I have to myself. Did you see how I answered that question? Why are you guys in my chat instead of in someone else's chat? Why are you watching my Raw review instead of watching somebody else's? Because you're entertained more so by my delivery and you're entertained more so by my content and you enjoy my chat and you enjoy my environment. JD doesn't look like anybody else. JD doesn't sound like anybody else. JD's got the best visuals in the fucking game. JD's got some of the best sound in the game when it's fucking working. This is the best podcast live after the shows are over every single night. That's why we're here. You see how I gave you a reason as to why you're here? Why is one of the most important questions that a human being can ask of another. We got zero. Yet there'll be some WWE elitists, and there'll be some WWE apologists, the bootlickers, who claim that Brock Lesnar doesn't need an explanation. Why does Brock Lesnar go hunting in Saskatchewan for moose? I'm sure he'll give you a fucking explanation as to why he loves shooting moose and cooking that motherfucker on the grill. There's a reason behind everything, but WWE could not be bothered to give us a reason for John Cena and Brock Lesnar happening at WrestlePalooza. This is the same shit that I call Tony Khan out for. This is the same shit that I call AEW out for. So if you don't think I'm going to call WWE out for it, then you got another thing coming, man. You should go watch somebody else who's going to blow smoke up your ass. We don't do that here. Oh, it's not a big deal. Oh, it doesn't really matter. It's one of John Cena's final matches. It doesn't need an explanation. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Yes, it does matter. You do know that we still didn't get an explanation why Cody Rhodes was attacked by Brock Lesnar 3 years ago, right? You think I'm going to let that one fucking go now? You think I'm going to let that one go now when the guy in charge supposedly is better than the guy that was previously there? Meanwhile, all I'm seeing is the same fucking shit. He'd rather promote being on Kill Tony than give me a fucking explanation as to why. He'd rather sit at a sterile, absolutely fucking shill of a corporate sit down to announce to everybody that WrestleMania is coming to Saudi because this is what we do, he says. This is what we do. Clearly, what you don't do is tell stories thoroughly. Because if you did, then you would have explained to me why this match is taking place instead of bringing another big name back for another fucking moment to counter-program AEW because you want to fucking drive them out of business. You see, even they have a reason why. They'll never admit it. Why is WrestlePalooza happening, JD? Because they want to stick it to AEW because Triple H, Nick Khan, Ari Emanuel, Mark Shapiro, and the rest of the fucking suits and ties over on the TKO board of directors, they want to drive AEW out of business because Tony Khan is single-handedly driving up the salary for professional wrestlers every single time Tony wants to pay someone else. That's why. DC? Even they have a reason why as to why WrestlePalooza exists. Why WrestlePalooza materialized from fucking ash and dust 3 weeks ago. They got a date, they got a platform, they got a fucking venue, and they got tickets sold. And a match card. 5 different things they did in 3 weeks. But they can't give me an explanation as to why Brock Lesnar and John Cena is happening at this same show. Cut the shit. Take the fucking WWE boot out of your mouth and shut the fuck up. If you don't think you deserve an explanation as to why you are watching something on television, then you're a complete fucking idiot. I don't know why anybody does anything in life without the one very question of why? Why? Why do you wake up in the morning? Because you gotta go to work and fucking provide for your fucking family. Why? Why is Brock Lesnar showing up on September 20th to wrestle John Cena? What is his reason for attacking? We didn't get the answer why. All the people that claim we don't need a why, they live by why. Every single fucking day. Meanwhile, John Cena wants to show up for a waste of an appearance tonight to get everybody to chant, "Thank you, Cena," and say, "I'm not afraid of John." Actually, he is afraid. He did admit he's afraid of Brock Lesnar, but he's not backing down from Brock Lesnar. Gee, that's great. We know that. Can you give me a reason as to why he attacked you? You know, Lesnar's not the most eloquent speaker, but John Cena very much is. And even Cena couldn't even be bothered to give us an explanation. Thank you very much for joining me here on this Monday night. We're going to get into the rest of this show. Also tonight, Roxanne Perez versus Lyra Valkyria. The Grande Americanos seem to be running wild on Monday Night Raw. I don't know what the end game is for this. I don't even think Triple H knows what the fucking end game is. Chris Hoover, Hooligram, get Chris Hoover out of the chat. Why am I screaming? Because this is my fucking show, Chris Hoover. I can do what the fuck I want on my show, Chris Hoover. Is that a good enough answer for you? Get him out. I don't allow virgins in my chat. Get him the fuck out. That's why. Get him out. Why am I screaming? How would you like me to sound? Do you want me to sound all Mickey Mouse-like Denise? And fake excitement? Do you want me to react like these fake reactors and react to everything that you see on television? Oh, man! Goodbye! Goodbye! Thanks for coming. You waited 2 weeks to chat in this fucking live stream. Now you're gone. Forever. Goodbye. 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 Chris Hoover is out of here! Follow me on social media at JDfromNY206. Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Cameo. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on the bell for notifications. Make sure you all go check out the homepage, man. There is plenty of content you guys can get lost in. Last night, we uploaded a banger review or banger update news video on Andrade El Idolo. Andrade fired by WWE. I thought the video was great. All I have to say is Andrade shot himself in the foot, which I did say multiple times in the video with the news that has been provided. But if you think I am solely going to blame Andrade, you got to blame WWE as well. If you're going to blame Andrade, you got to blame WWE just the same. Simple. Where's he going to end up? Where's he going? What's next for Andrade? I give all of my opinion on Andrade on yesterday's video. Go and check it out. It's on the homepage. 30 minutes of excellent discussion. And listen, I do get heated. I'm a big fan of Andrade, and WWE dropped the ball again. Hit that thumbs up. Try for, it's a slow night because of Monday Night Football. What am I going to do? 800 likes is the goal. We're more than halfway there. 800 likes is the goal. So hit that thumbs up. Super chats are open. Look at the last bench, says Hooligram. You might have to, you might have to let me know, bro. I don't see it. Look at the last bench. Who was it? Was it Chris Hoover? What did he say? Did he say something stupid? Let me know what he said, bro. Super chats are open. Get them on in. We'll hang out at the end of the show. It's the best way to support. Leave me a comment down below if you made it this far. Comments help us out in the algorithm here on YouTube. And tonight we're sponsored by Blue Chew. BlueChew.com. Code JD at checkout. You guys are going to get 1 month free, courtesy of yours truly. Courtesy of the podcast. BlueChew.com. Code JD. Jonathan Y. Miller called me a fucking bully. Just like your mother bullies you every single night and puts you on timeout. No playing with your toys, Jonathan Y. Miller. Can't play with your action figures before dinner time, Jonathan Y. Miller, huh? You fucking baby. Get out of my chat. This is for adults only. Don't start with me tonight, man. I'm in some fucking mood. Anyway, let's get into this Monday Night Raw. Hey, why are you being so negative, JD? JD from NY602? I love it how I love how people they address me when they want to say something to me online. Hey, JD from NY206. Motherfucker, can you just call me by my first and last initial, please? What is this, JD from NY? It's not my name. Just call me JD, okay? JD from NY 602. One thing I hate about this show, bro. One thing I hate about this show, they show everybody walking into the building. Got Penta doing the thing, right? Penta's doing the thing. He's fucking drinking his coffee. You show Stephanie Vaquer entering the building through the parking lot. Bro, can we start the show off in a different way, bro? It's the same fucking thing every single week. Show people walking into the building. Start the show off with a promo. I mean, this show has become... You could sit there and fucking predict what they're going to do. John Cena, Springfield, Massachusetts. They were very hot for John Cena. He gets into the ring. He said he had family and friends in the building. Talked about being an offensive lineman. It's right down the road where he played football. He says his niece couldn't be there tonight in attendance because it was her birthday. He thanked ring announcer Alicia Taylor for the ring introduction. Started that introduction with one purpose. He says he's hung on to it as the reason he has evolved. Some now say it gives everyone a chance for the fans to show the world their energy and for us to share a final moment, and I think that is really special. He said he needs that moment because he has a pretty big hill to climb. Cena said during the introduction the words that meant the most to him were last real champion. He said Lesnar wants to end the last real champion. It's not a very good explanation as to why he attacked you, though. And no, that's not the reason why he attacked him. We need a little bit more elaboration on that. Oh, but Brock Lesnar wants to end John Cena. That's great. That also comes with the answer of, or the question of, why? Could be like a little kid. Mommy, are we there yet? No. Why? Because we're taking our time. We got to get everybody there safely. Why? Because we can't speed over the speed limit. Otherwise, the police officer will come and give daddy a ticket. Why? Because that's the law. We have laws here in the United States. We have to abide by them and be good citizens. Why? Everything comes with a why. Why? God, I hate being in those situations. Mommy, why? 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 It's like fucking, what's his name? Hoover in the chat. Why? Why? Like a little baby. A little baby. Jonathan Miller. Why? Little baby in the chat. He wants to end the last real champion. He said Lesnar is very intimidating, no doubt controversial. Gee, I wonder why. And damn near invincible. Fans chanted, fuck you, Lesnar. Cena said Netflix, they're chanting, talk to Lesnar. Sure they are. I love how Netflix lets like 3 or 4 fuck yous in there before they start bleeping it. Bro, you might as well not even bother. Why do you bother bleeping fuck you, Lesnar? Who gives a shit? Seriously. I don't understand it. I can watch a whole documentary on the O.J. Simpson fucking trial, 4-part series, but I can't get a fuck you Lesnar on WWE program. It's unbelievable. He said Lesnar challenged him to a match. He said he has matches, or has had matches with Lesnar before, some of the toughest matches he's ever had. He asked why he doesn't just say no. He said if he says no, he could keep his health. He says he could go backstage and say they owe him a favor. He says some would say that saying no is smart. He says he has only 6 appearances left. He said saying no is safe and easy. So then we got a loud thank you Cena chant. That's right. That right there is why I say yes. Because I am the last real champion. In all my days here, I have never fought one battle back there. And he points to the back. John Cena is on this crusade of letting everybody know that he doesn't politic. And I do believe him. I do believe him. I fight them all here in front of the most important audience in the world, everybody in this building tonight. He said the last real champion isn't about a belt, a main event, or being the face of the company. He says it's about leaving the place better than they found it and not taking their ball and going home. He said this is a chance to make magic, so he's giving all that he can. Am I afraid of Brock Lesnar? He asked, yes, I am. Could I fail? Yes, I could. Will I back down? Will I give up? Hell no. Hell no. We will take the fight to the beast because that is what we do. This is what we do. This is what we do, says Triple H. Listen to the energy, Brock. Then he plugged WrestlePalooza on ESPN. You heard a couple of boos. He told Brock he doesn't care how many suplexes are in his city. He said he founded Suplex City and took his best shot for 20 years, and he's still standing. He pointed at a fan sign that said his jorts are stronger than Lesnar's jeans. He says he's ready for war on Saturday at WrestlePalooza. This was a good promo. All of John Cena's promos are good promos. Do you know what was missing, folks? Why? Lesnar didn't reveal why. R-Truth didn't reveal why. John Cena didn't reveal why. In all of the weeks coming out of SummerSlam, we don't have a single fucking reason as to why Lesnar attacked John Cena. And Lesnar has one more appearance on next Friday's SmackDown. This coming Friday SmackDown. Before WrestlePalooza. Will he say anything? I don't know. Not holding my breath. What is he going to go to SmackDown for? To rip the other side of his jeans? To F5 R-Truth again? Maybe he'll F5 Michael Cole. I'm excited to see this match. Simply because John Cena has turned out a couple of fucking bangers in the last 2 months. Logan Paul, Cody Rhodes, and Sami Zayn. So John Cena is upping his work as of late. I don't think he's going to skimp on this one. I don't know if this is going to be the fucking banger that was the Cody Rhodes match at SummerSlam or the banger that was Paris with Logan Paul. It doesn't need to go 30 minutes. A 15-minute fucking brutal, hard-hitting match. I'm looking forward to what they produce. Hopefully they make it memorable because this is the last time that Cena and Lesnar will be wrestling one-on-one. Adam Pearce stood between LA Knight and Jey Uso in the next segment. He asked why they're fighting in a parking area. You see, even Adam Pearce asked them why. Why? He says they have bigger things on Saturday to focus on. Knight and Jey yelled at each other. Adam Pearce says he can't have this on the go-home show, and he can't have this go off the rails during one of their biggest weeks ever. Knight says he wants a piece of Braun and Braun's son. Pearce asked, well, who is your partner going to be? Because I'm not letting you go out there alone. Knight says he wanted it to be Jimmy Uso. Jey says he didn't like that. Pearce says, well, you need to go talk to Jimmy if that's what you want to do tonight. Opening match, Lyra Valkyria and Roxanne Perez. Roxanne's out there, obviously, with Raquel Rodriguez. This was actually decent. They only got about 10 minutes or so on the show. Raquel got kicked out pretty early because she tripped Lyra from the outside. Jessica Carr, the referee of this match, saw it, and she tossed Raquel pretty quickly from ringside. Perez applied a cradle behind Jessica Carr's back, which she was late to see, and this gave Lyra the opportunity to kick out because she was still arguing with Raquel. After she left, Perez yanked Lyra off the top turnbuckle, and she took control. So we go into a commercial break. We come out of the break, and Perez is trying to get back into this. Lyra took over on offense. Perez cut Lyra's comeback off, hit a double knee drop for a 2 count. Roxanne applied a crossface. Lyra powered to her feet and eventually hit a Nightwing for the 1, 2, 3, and Lyra beats Roxanne Perez. I know there'll be some geeks on social media. Why is Triple H botching Roxanne Perez, JD? Roxanne is going to be fine. I don't know what you want. Where exactly do you want Roxanne to go? They're trying to tell a story here. They're trying to get across that Lyra still cares for Bayley. That's why we got the outcome that we got. They got their heat back at the end of the match, which then led to Bayley coming back. Rodriguez attacked Lyra. Perez joined in and gave Lyra a pop rocks. Bayley ran out to make the save. Role model. Can you imagine we still now have to sit with that every week? Bayley's on TV now. We went away from it for a little bit, but now we got, once again, role model. She wiped out Rodriguez and gave Perez a Bailey to belly. That was her old finish. I actually prefer that over the roast plant. Crowd was happy to see Bailey. They gave her a full-blown babyface reaction. Bailey showed up as a babyface and took care of the heels to save Lyra. And then all of a sudden, she transformed into this stern, very serious demeanor. She stared at Lyra. She snapped out of it. And like this, she went right over to the commentary team, gave Joe Tessitore a big hug. She gave Corey Graves a big hug, Alicia Taylor a big hug, and a bunch of fans she was meeting and greeting by ringside. This is the first confirmation that we got that Bailey is absolutely undergoing a split personality disorder. She has now lost her mind. Everything that has happened, the losses, missing WrestleMania, having the IC title ripped from her, everything has driven Bailey into the insane asylum. She is now insane. It's crazy. And I'll tell you what, from the segment that we got later in the show, I said on social media, if this is the direction that they're going with Bailey and we're going to get fucking insane asylum Bailey and she's going to be off the fucking rails, you don't know what Bailey's going to show up, this is going to be the most entertaining gimmick in the entire division. And I love the fact that she is so hell-bent on being a heel, but it's got to be different than what we saw previously. She owned the last heel gimmick that she did. And if Bailey's going to adventure and do this thing, I feel like she's going to fucking knock it out of the park. If she did the last heel run as great as she did, she's going to knock this out of the fucking park. So we don't know what's going on. Lyra was confused as all hell. And Bailey, she came out there as a babyface, got angry, and then snapped out of it and became babyface Bailey again in a span of 90 seconds. For all the Roxanne Perez, oh, well, she's getting buried, JD. They got their heat back. They put Lyra into the ground, pop rocks by Roxanne. They got their heat back at the end of the match, which got Bailey involved, and Lyra and Bailey will probably end up battling the Judgment Day. And it's going to be interesting to see how Lyra and Bailey react. And it's going to be interesting to see how Lyra sees firsthand that Bailey is slipping into fucking insane. Who knows what version of Bailey we're going to get? This is the three faces of Foley, basically. She's going to come out as Hugger Bailey. She's going to come out as whatever she was previously. And she's going to come out as insane heel Bailey, calling everybody a stupid idiot. Ding dong. Hello. Yeah. Yeah. It's going to be great. Basically going to be her Dude Love, Cactus Jack, and Mankind. Without the mask and the flannel. Remember Dude Love's theme music, man? That was great. Gotta love Dude Love, bro. Adam Pearce. He met with Io Sky and Stephanie Vicaire. Oh, man. We got a lot of Stephanie on this show tonight, bro. You know when there's a lot of Stephanie on Monday night, that it is a thumbs up show, bro. Just saying. You know what I'm talking about, Sidro, right? Thumbs up show, no doubt about it. When that woman is on the show. He made their world title match official. Supposedly, there was a rumor going around that Stephanie Vicaire was banged up or she was injured and it was a minor injury and she was taking some time off. I don't know who reported it. But the day that I read that report, the next day she showed up on social media. She showed up on NXT, and I seen her all over social media. And she's a part of the NXT Homecoming show That's happening tomorrow at Full Sail University. Supposedly, she was away because she's been brushing up and learning her English. Wow. Whoever her tutor is, maybe she should pass that off to Andrade. Asuka and Kairi Sane barged in while Io and Stephanie were backstage with Adam Pearce. Asuka got in Stephanie's face and told her she wasn't ready for Io. Whoever did Asuka's face paint tonight deserves a raise. Her face paint looked fucking fantastic. I don't know what it was. I don't know if it was a centipede or a dragon. I don't know. It went all over her face, bro. Like, you know, when you look at Asuka the way you saw Asuka tonight, you know that that woman is also being driven into the insane asylum. Asuka's turning to the dark side. Her face paint was fucking fantastic tonight. Stephanie told her to get out of her face, so Asuka told Stephanie she would face Kairi tonight. Kairi was surprised to hear this, but she was ready for Stephanie. Adam Pearce made it official. I'm enjoying evil Asuka. Asuka's just a MK Pandy, yes. I was just going to say that. Asuka is a badass. Yes. I love this evil Asuka. LA Knight. He's in the locker room. Next segment. We saw him meeting with Jimmy Uso. Jimmy didn't think it was a good idea for them to team up. Clearly not, because if you did team up with LA Knight, it would be a problem for you and your brother, and you don't want that. He told Jimmy that he chose him as his partner tonight. LA Knight says he has a lot of reasons not to trust anyone in his family, but he was there for him last week, so he trusts him. Jimmy says he's putting him in a tough spot. He said that he and Jay got their chance on Saturday. LA Knight has to go find someone else if he wants to take care of the vision tonight. Kofi Kingston. He went one-on-one with Penta. You know, we talk about AEW and them putting the learning tree on television when they were on television week after week after week in multiple sometimes the learning tree got 3 or 4 different segments on Dynamite. They wanted to drive you criminally insane. I don't know. You look at the Chris Jericho vortex. Nobody wants to be stuck in that. Everybody that got sucked into that vortex did not come out the same person. They came out worse than they did going into it. Penta is in this New Day vortex. And I don't know what we're doing, and I don't know what the end goal is. What is the end goal here? What is the end goal for Penta and the New Day? They wanted to outlaw, they wanted to ban, they wanted to petition that he can't do it. The Canadian Destroyer or the Mexican Destroyer, they wanted it outlawed. Pile drivers aren't allowed in WWE, but Penta does one every fucking week. I guess it's who you know and who you are. We got to get Penta out of this vortex, bro. I mean, I don't know what we're doing. This guy should be on the rise for an intercontinental title, bro. I hope that's the vision. I hope that's the direction after all of this is over. The New Day, when the New Day is serious, there are no teams better than the New Day, bro. They are so good. But whatever this version of the New Day is, it's almost as if they don't care anymore. They are operating as two guys that just don't give a fuck. They're out there dressed in black every week, still mourning over the death of the tag team titles. You got more to worry about than the fucking tag team titles. The division's been dead well before you started wearing black, bro. Honestly. This guy's out there, Xavier Woods, wearing a fucking Kung Lao hat from Mortal Kombat. They're making sexual jokes and sexual innuendos. They got Grayson Waller out there for no reason whatsoever. What are we doing? What exactly is the end goal here? So Penta went one-on-one with Kofi Kingston. This match went about 7 minutes. Kingston was in control due to a distraction because Grayson Waller's out there. Xavier Woods is out there. We go into a commercial break. We come back from the break. Kingston cut Penta's comeback off. Hit him with an SOS. They trade strikes back and forth. Penta nails an enziguri. Penta sets up for the Canadian Destroyer, but Woods distracted the referee. Penta super kicked Waller before he could interfere and chase Woods off the apron. Penta hits Kingston with a springboard Canadian Destroyer, which looked fucking great. And it really popped the crowd. They show replays of it in slow motion. It looked great. Penta wins 1, 2, 3. Another random match with no clear direction in sight. Penta gets his win back over Kofi, I guess. They wrestled 3 weeks ago with Kingston getting the win over Penta. So if you look, we'll go to cagematch.net and we'll look up Penta and what he's been doing on Monday Night Raw. His last couple of matches on Monday night. Look at that. Look at what they have Penta doing. Look at what they have Penta doing. Since the July 14th episode where he wrestled in a number one contenders gauntlet match, which I believe was the right to wrestle Gunther at SummerSlam. That was CM Punk, Braun Breaker, Jey Uso, LA Knight, and Penta. From that point on, look at what he has done on Monday Night Raw. August 4th, he wrestled Grayson Waller. August 18th, he wrestled Xavier Woods. August 25th, he wrestled Kofi Kingston. September 1st, he teamed with the War Raiders against Grayson Waller and the New Day. Last week, he wrestled Rusev. And then tonight, he wrestled Kofi Kingston. You mean to tell me that they have a clear direction for Penta? If they got a clear direction for Penta, I'd love for somebody from WWE to fucking tell me what the goddamn direction is, because all I see is nothing but rinse and repeat, fucking New Day vortex. They broke up the monotony by throwing in a Rusev match in there. And this week, right back to the New Day vortex. Has WWE dropped the ball on Penta? It's a very subjective thing. Some of you might say no. Just give it time, JD. Some of you might say yes. By the looks of this, for the last 2.5 months, I'm going to lean towards yes, they have. Fucking ridiculous. But I will say this. Whatever he's doing now is a lot better than what he would be doing on AEW television. Facts. Factual information. I know the sickos don't want to hear it. Moving on. Told you, man, I'm in some mood tonight. Jimmy Uso approached Jey Uso backstage. Jey was shown pacing while on a cell phone. Who was he speaking to? I don't know. Jimmy asked, who are you talking to? Don't worry about it, Jey says. Jey told Jimmy that he has to say no when LA Knight approaches him about teaming up with him. The thing is, LA Knight did approach him. Jimmy already told him no. Jey didn't understand that because he was so upset about what happened last week that he's just ordering his brother around. He didn't even give his brother a chance to speak and tell him that, listen, Oos, I said no. You're too important to me. I would never do that to you. Well, Jay's over here ordering him around. You got to say no. You can't team with him. He's already said no. Jey hadn't heard what everyone else saw earlier. Jimmy didn't like Jay telling him what to do. Jay says it's all about family and what they have in front of them on Saturday. Jimmy says, I already told LA Knight no. But now I'm not going to be taking orders from you. Jay says he didn't mean it like that. Jimmy says he should change his tone then because the last time I checked, you ain't wearing no ulafala around your neck. Who was Jay Uso on the phone with? I don't know. Maybe it's the big dog. I don't know. Jimmy told LA Knight eventually backstage that after all that was said before, he's in. Yeah. Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch. To me, this was the best part of the entire show. Final face-to-face before this huge mixed tag team match at WrestlePalooza on Saturday evening, which I will obviously be live for. So make sure you guys are setting your calendars and tuning into the post show immediately live after it is all over. It's going to be a busy Saturday. I got to watch All Out at 3 p.m. Then I'll miss the last hour of All Out and then immediately tune to ESPN to watch WrestlePalooza and then catch up with All Out and whatever I missed in that final hour after WrestlePalooza is over. And I don't know when I'm doing an All Out post show because Sunday is going to be tough. Everybody's going to be watching football. I don't know what I'm going to do. I'll leave it up to you guys. Seth and Becky came out together. First, they played the start of Seth's theme. And then they switched to Becky's theme. I guess they didn't want to sing along. Seth said, if not for their booze, he was going to say the name of their stupid little town. He said instead he would ignore them completely and simply address the audience watching at home on Netflix. He introduced himself as the revolutionary, the visionary, Seth freaking Rollins. Fans chanted for AJ Lee instead. Becky said she has a lot to say about AJ Lee, but she's not going to talk behind her back because I'm not like CM Punk. So AJ Lee made her entrance with Punk. They did not play CM Punk's theme music. He came out to her theme music. And AJ skipped to the ring with CM Punk trailing behind. They didn't do some mix mash. They didn't have one theme play and then the other theme play. He is perfectly okay with coming out to light it up. Perfectly okay coming out to his wife's theme. We got a loud CM Punk chant that broke out. He said, I am AJ's husband. He says he wasn't going to waste their time with an overcompensating, long-winded explanation of who she is. Fans chanted AJ's husband at CM Punk. Punk said it sounds like the fans came to see her and they already know her name too. And clearly they chanted AJ Lee, AJ Lee. CM Punk has no problem being Mr. AJ Lee. He loves his woman. Punk asked who the man is here. Who's the leader of this team? Between Becky and Seth Rollins. They both look the same. They both got ridiculous leather outfits on. They both got goofy looking glasses on. They're both carrying around their championships, leather vests. He says he's earned a rep by telling people to their face what he thinks about them. He says he has so much to say about both of them, I don't know where to start. Look at you. You look like two goofs, he says. Seth told the fans they wouldn't know style if it punched them in the face. He may be right on that. I don't know what type of people live in Springfield, Massachusetts, and what they know or not know about style. They do drink Sam Adams, so at least they got that going for them. Seth told the fans they wouldn't know what style is if it punched them in the face. Punk says they brag about being the greatest wrestling couple, but they can't get on the same page and share the spotlight. Punk complained about having to hear both of their entrance themes. He says he was happy to put Cult of Personality on the shelf tonight and let AJ light it up. He said Seth and Becky share a wardrobe, clearly. But can they share a spotlight with two of their massive egos? He asked if they can be a happily married tag team, or will their egos just get in the way? Seth said Punk is the most selfish human being he's ever met in his entire life. We got a shut the fuck up chant aimed towards Rollins, which is great. I love a nice shut the fuck up chant. It's great. You know you're doing your job great when you get that type of heat. Becky yelled for them to show her hot husband some respect. He says they are the human incarnation of herpes. Seth says he was going to do something selfless that will hurt him and make the fans happy. He says he didn't want to do it, but he was going to do it. He says he was going to give Punk credit. He said marrying AJ Lee was the best decision he's ever made in his entire life. And then he says his personal life. Fans chanted, "No one likes you." So there was a lot of heat in this segment. Becky yelled at them again. She yelled, "I do, I like him." Seth says they can yell at him all they want, but he's still the world's heavyweight champion. And then Punk murmured in the microphone, "Yeah, for now." Seth told Punk he will regret this for the rest of his days, bringing AJ Lee back into this. So Lee takes the microphone and tells Seth, "No, sweet cheeks, that mistake was yours." She said she wouldn't be there if he hadn't used his wife as a human shield. Becky said no one expected you to come back. She said Lee was gone for 10 years. She then said it was irresponsible of CM Punk. She said Punk only cares about Punk and my husband's championship. Becky said, "You know, AJ, I read your book and I took some notes." She asked how she's feeling physically. She asked how that neck is doing. Becky said she got into a blood feud because he took, or she told Punk rather, that he got into a blood feud because that guy, Drew McIntyre, took his bracelet that had AJ's initials on it, Larry as well. We can't forget Larry, that cutie Larry. She asked, you got into a blood feud because of that. How are you going to respond when he's watching her punch his wife, AJ Lee, in the face? She told Lee that she just isn't an asset. She's now a liability. Lee thanked Becky for reading her book. And then she says, "Thank you for reading my book, Becky. I didn't read yours." She did say to Becky that she made a good point, that she doesn't know how her neck will hold up on Saturday. So fans started singing AJ Lee in the European style that they usually do. This got a little overboard, a little too much, Springfield. We don't need European chants for this. Save that for Saturday in Indianapolis. Lee says it's been 10 years since I took a bump in this ring. She doesn't know what's going to happen. She said she skipped to the ring and saw Becky's constipated face, and she saw red. So then the fans chanted, "Constipated." Springfield was largely a very good crowd tonight, but when pro wrestling crowds start doing that type of shit, it kind of leans into being a little annoying, and it's not really funny. But they paid their money. They paid a lot of money for these tickets, so I guess they can chant whatever the fuck they want, huh? She said it's not her neck she should be worried about. She said she won 2 titles with this neck. Seth says now they've gone too far chanting constipated, so he told the fans to shut up. Lee said that Becky is erratic and has been known to make a rash decision. "I am a Puerto Rican from New Jersey," she said. Gotta love it. Who doesn't love a spicy Puerto Rican from New Jersey? Lee said Seth made a plan and used his wife as a backup plan, but you cannot plan for something unpredictable. Seth started laughing. He starts laughing. He laughed at the notion that she thinks he can't handle AJ Lee. Seth says he can't predict her, but he can read her husband like a book. Seth said she might not want to hear this or believe it about her husband, but he has a nasty habit of leaving when things let him down. He said this very ominously. Seth said that this Saturday when AJ Lee is ripped to shreds by his wife, Becky Lynch, you better hope to God that he doesn't leave you too. Lee then slaps Seth. Seth says he won't put his hands on a lady, but he knows someone who will. So he used the CM Punk line. Becky was standing in the background, and she looked around playing stupid, and he asked Becky to retaliate. Becky wouldn't, and had some words with Seth. They argued, and Seth said, "You're blaming me for this? This isn't my fault. This is your fault." Becky stormed off yelling as she exited the ring, yelling at her husband, saying, "You got us into this." Seth took a shot at CM Punk. He pie-faced him, and then he left the ring. Seth took a shot, left the ring. Becky, meanwhile, comes around back to the ring, gets in the ring, and delivers a manhandle slam to AJ Lee. Becky got in Punk's face, slapped him around, and Becky left along with Seth as they played both of them in this nice little troll job, this little plan before WrestlePalooza. So they wanted to get the first attack on AJ and CM Punk. They very well did that tonight. And now the story is AJ Lee's neck. What is CM Punk going to do? How is he going to react that they finally put their hands on his wife and now target the neck? It's going to be a very interesting situation. I thought both couples played off each other very well. I thought the dynamic was great. Adding Becky Lynch to this has been great. Adding AJ Lee has been a great compliment to Becky Lynch. And it's only taken this to the personal level that it needed to be, because it was getting a little stale between Punk and Rollins. If the wives are going to add that level of personal feeling to it, I'm all for it. There's not many people that could say Becky and AJ are your significant others and have them play off each other in this feud, which right now is the biggest feud for WWE in the entire company. I thought this was great. Looking forward to the match on Saturday. Should be interesting to see how they handle everything coming out of WrestlePalooza. Is Punk going to take some time off? I would love to see Rollins put his hands on AJ Lee. I'd love to see Rollins give AJ a curb stomp, to be honest with you. I am open to that scenario. I do think something like that needs to happen. Whatever happens here, Rollins needs to walk out of this with the most heat on him, maybe ever. And for him to do that to AJ Lee, man, you are setting this man up for a very fruitful and heel-perfect run as world champion. I need to see that curb stomp on Saturday afternoon. Byron Saxton. He interviewed Dominic backstage. Dominic is the new AAA Mega Champion. He beat Vikingo at Worlds Collide. I did watch the match. Overbooked as usual, but entertaining nonetheless. He asked about the relationship between him and El Grande, Americano. Dom told him not to worry about it, called him sweetheart. He is now the Mega Champion and also the Intercontinental Champion, so you can call him the Mega Intercontinental Champion. There was some commotion off in the distance. Camera turned and saw Waller and Xavier attacking Penta backstage. So the New Day fled, and the War Raiders showed back up to check on Penta. The vortex continues. Unfortunately. Speaking of El Grande Americano, we got El Grande Americano and Dragon Lee in a one-on-one match tonight. This was probably the best one-on-one match, probably the best wrestling match of the entire show. Loving El Grande Americano. Loving the work that Kaiser's doing. Just entertaining. I don't really understand it. I don't understand why they chose him of all people. But he wasn't doing anything anyway. They broke him away from Gunther. He was floating around backstage in the middle of nothing. All of a sudden, he puts on the mask, and he's just fucking killing it. Can't complain. I do wonder what's going to happen with Chad Gable when he does come back. Is he going to start wearing the mask of El Grande Americano again? I don't know. Speaking of which, I need to find a proper stream to wear the rest of the masks that I promised you. I have Grande Americano, Rey Fenix, and Penta. We have 2 masks down, 2 of the 5 down. We got Hologram, and we got the All-In mask that I wore during the All-In stream, which was itchy as fuck. But we did it. I had to take it off before the Super Chats, man. I was just going crazy. So we gotta come up with a certain day, maybe Halloween. Maybe we'll do one for Halloween. How about that? And we'll figure out the rest as we come along. So Dragon Lee used a leaping Hurricane over the top rope here. He sent El Grande Americano off the apron. Dragon Lee followed with a flip dive. I mean, he gets some serious fucking dive, man. Does Dragon Lee? Flip dive, sending both him and Americano into the announce table. Americano took over during the commercial break. He tied Dragon Lee's mask up in the rope. Lee hits a Liger bomb for it, too. Double foot stomp off the top of the turnbuckle, top rope. This was not just on the top of the ropes, but it was on the top of the steel post, so he got a little bit higher than he usually does. There was a distraction because a mystery masked man attacked Dragon Lee. One of the Americanos, one of these random Americanos, we'll call him Tall Americano, attacked Dragon Lee. Americano then hits a leaping blockbuster off the top rope for a near fall on Dragon Lee. AJ Styles has seen enough. He ran out there trying to even the odds. We got another Grande Americano coming to the aid of Grande Americano. We'll call him Venti Americano. Now, AJ tried to come out and take care of the second Americano. The second Americano tried to hide underneath the ring. Joe Tessitore and Corey Graves were pointing that he went underneath the ring. So Styles goes underneath the ring. Grande Americano still in the ring. Tall Americano shot out from the other side of the ring underneath. AJ went under there to follow him. He emerges as well. He threw this other Americano into the barricade. The third Americano shows up. He distracted the referee while the second Americano shoved Dragon Lee off the top rope. Kaiser applied a deep submission. It looked like an Accolade-like submission where he leaned back. And Dragon Lee tapped out to El Grande Americano with the help of not one, but 2 masked Americanos. We got Tall, Grande, and Venti Americano. It's somebody's office order. Someone ran to Starbucks and ordered the entire office coffee. What are we doing here, bro? What is the end goal here? Is this resulting in what? A new faction? Are we getting 4 masked Americanos together for a Survivor Series match? What are we doing? There's got to be an end game here. Are we going to eventually see what? Dominic join the Americanos and get booted out of the... what is the end goal? I have no idea. Literally no idea. Styles, though, hopefully he continues his quest for the Intercontinental Championship. The main event scene is so barren because Punk and Rollins don't wrestle on a weekly basis. They got the fucking goons wrestling in the main event every single week. AJ Styles is a main event guy, and they got him chasing around Pete Dunne in a Grande Americano mask. And they got him chasing Tyler Bate in a Grande Americano mask. And Ludwig Kaiser as the Grande Americano. Like, what are we doing here, bro? There's no fucking end. What is the end goal? Every week, it's the same fucking thing. Every week, we see these masked men. Every week, they cause Americano to win. Every week, they cause a distraction. What is the end goal? What is it? Usually, when you see something happen, it progresses a story. It's the same fucking thing every week. Lyra. She approached Bayley's locker room backstage. This is where I tweeted that this is going to be fucking great for Bayley. Love it. Lyra gets up to Bayley's locker room. She knocks on the door. She heard Bayley's two personalities arguing with each other. She enters the room because the door was open. Bayley, before Lyra entered, I should say, there was a big slam or a bang against the door. As soon as Lyra walked in, Bayley was sitting calmly on the couch, scrolling her cell phone, scrolling Twitter. Lyra asked, "Who were you talking to?" There was no one here. She said, "Never mind. I want to say thank you for helping me with the Judgment Day, especially after what I said to you." Bayley stood up and thanked her for showing her that idiots still exist. She yelled at her for barging in. "You're barging into my locker room. What if I was changing? What if I had company? Stay out of my locker room, idiot!" And she walked away. Lyra looked more confused than she did earlier in the night when Bayley came out to rescue her from a 2-on-1 attack from the Judgment Day. This is going to be great. Love it. Rhea Ripley. She walked up to Stephanie and told her whether it's her or Io who wins at WrestlePalooza, she's coming for the winner. Stephanie says, "I'm ready." Oh, trust me, we collectively are ready. Io's going to win. Rhea and Io again, potentially in Perth at Crown Jewel. Stephanie Vaquera and Kairi Sane. This was also a very good match. I actually preferred the Dragon Lee Americano match over this, but this was also very good, which is not surprising seeing the women involved here. That Stephanie Io match is going to be a fucking banger on Saturday, by the way. Could be match of the night. Could be sleeper match of the night. A lot of great matches on that show. So, Stephanie early on tried to go for Devil's Kiss. They always tease going for Devil's Kiss because it's the one thing that she's known for. Crowd pops for it. Kairi Sane countered it with a roll-up. Sane followed with a DDT. She went up top. Vaquera followed her up there. We got the two jockeying for position on the top rope. Led to Kairi hitting a double foot stomp. Everybody had a double foot stomp tonight. Dragon Lee had a big double foot stomp. Kairi had a double foot stomp. So, double foot stomp. Sane then gets up, hits consecutive spinning back fists, but Stephanie came back with a headbutt and a dragon screw. Kairi rolled to the outside, who ran into the arms of Asuka, who was on the outside in her corner. So Stephanie wiped them out with a dive off the top rope. Big crossbody. We go back in the ring. Stephanie hit Kairi with the Devil's Kiss and then followed it up with the SVB. Man, do I wish she'd changed that finish. Something a little bit more impactful. She got the SVB backbreaker for the 1, 2, 3, and she beats Kairi Sane. Asuka hit the apron and got in Stephanie's face. Io ran out to get in between them before anything could happen. Asuka feels like Io needs her help. Io doesn't want Asuka's help. So Io ran out there to preserve the championship match on Saturday because she didn't want Asuka doing something that would interfere in getting this match canceled. So Asuka hit the apron. She got in Stephanie's face. Io ran out. Io settled things down. Asuka started yelling at her. And it ended with Io and Stephanie facing off and shaking hands ahead of their title match on Saturday. I can only hope that when Io wins the championship, we get something a little bit more closer to a story with Io as the champion for whoever gets the next shot. Because Stephanie has not factored into a single lick of a fucking story on this show in about 7 weeks now. All we know is that she won the Battle Royal on July 12th. And we're getting this title match now. And she's been off TV since. No, she's not winning the championship. Io should absolutely win the championship on Saturday. She did change it? She didn't change it. She changed it? What did she change it into? Looked the same to me. She did a different finish. Can someone please tell me what the difference between the first SVB was and tonight's SVB? She altered it. It's the same thing. I mean, change it completely. Also, change the name. The name is awful. SVB. What the fuck does that even mean? Stephanie Vicaire Backbreaker. What the fuck does it mean? Oh, it's knees to the face now. Again, not impactful. They called it the SVB. I must have had my head down. I must have had my head down taking my notes. I heard Joe Tessitore call it an SVB. I know I heard him call it an SVB. So that's why I wrote SVB. It's more like a lung blower. Okay. We'll see how that works. Going the Carlito route. Okay. Double underhook codebreaker. All right. We'll see what happens there. She wins with the SVB modified. Moving on. Judgment Day. JD McDonough, Finn Balor, Roxanne, Raquel, and Dominic. They were all toasting and raising a glass for Dominic winning the AAA Mega Championship. Yeah, they called it the SVB. I had my head down and I was taking notes. So I must have missed that it was a lung blower. They were toasting to Dominic. Toasting to Dominic winning the AAA Mega Championship. Dominic says it's like being champion, but twice as good. Balor says he wanted to pump the brakes on this celebration. There's no reason to celebrate. He said Roxanne Perez and Raquel Rodriguez had a tough night. What are we celebrating? Raquel then said, don't worry, Finn. This is about Dominic. We're going to take care of Bayley and Lyra. Don't worry. He then got heated about Dominic and his partnership with El Grande Americano. JD McDonough said Americano is going to want something in return. All Finn wants to know is, what exactly does he want for helping you? Balor got worked up, told Dom not to come looking for them next time he needs help. You're in the Judgment Day. You ask us for help, yet you're turning your back on us and asking for help from Grande Americano and his Americanos. When Balor and McDonough left, Rusev walked in, introduced himself to Dom. He offered a handshake. Dominic said, my hands are full. Rusev told Dominic, I just wanted to make acquaintances and tell you that I am the next Intercontinental Champion. Not before AJ Styles should win it. Or maybe Rusev wins it first, and then AJ beats Rusev. But I don't know why we had AJ chase Dominic all these months, only for him to not eventually beat Dominic. I would much rather see AJ, the babyface champion, defend against the heel, Rusev. Main event. I am not going over this, folks. I can't. These main events are basically the same fucking thing every single week. It really is. LA Knight, Jimmy Uso versus Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed. This went 12 minutes. We'll pick it up after the commercial break. Knight gave Breaker a neck breaker. A lot of breakers. Turns his attention to Bronson Reed, allowed Breaker to cut him off with a knee strike. Reed tagged in. Knight avoided a DVD, which Joe Tessitore called the Jagged Edge. I don't know where these names of moves are coming from, but apparently that's what he's calling it. Hit a reverse DDT and an elbow drop. Jimmy tagged himself in, hits an Uso splash. Breaker broke up the cover. Knight clothesline Breaker out of the ring. Jimmy hit Reed with a suicide dive. Jimmy went for another one. Reed caught him with a forearm. LA Knight attacked Reed and sent him back into the ring. Jimmy hit Reed with a super kick and a spear. Jimmy went to the top. Breaker ran over LA Knight with a leaping shoulder tackle that looked unbelievable. Breaker went for Jimmy. Jimmy kicked him off the apron. This distraction allowed Reed to take Jimmy off the top rope with another Death Valley driver, the Jagged Edge. And that's exactly what he won with. He didn't even win with the Tsunami. Won with the DVD. Breaker speared Jimmy after the match. Jay ran out to make the save. Jay attacked both Bronze with a chair. He nailed Bronson Reed with a couple of those chair shots. Fans yeeted. Yes, he calls it the Jagged Edge. Yes. Don't complain to me. This is what again I wrote down in my notes because this is what the commentary team said. LA Knight grabbed the chair. He was setting up to hit Jey Uso as his back was turned. Jey turns around, went face to face with LA Knight. They shake hands. LA Knight dropped him with a BFT. That's it. Show went off the air. Payback for last week. So now we're tit for tat. We're even. Before anybody starts saying, is LA Knight turning heel? It's a possibility. It is a possibility. If there's going to be one that's turning heel over the other, it's certainly going to be LA Knight over Jey Uso. I do think there needs to be a progression of the LA Knight character because there really is nothing for him to do here. He's just going around and yeah, he's in the main event every week. Yeah, he's one of the top baby faces in the company on the brand. But what is he doing? What is he doing? He came over from SmackDown week. He was doing nothing. And now he's on Monday Night Raw and he's back stuck in this fucking weird vortex of the same thing every single week. Fans want to see him win the World Championship. It's not his time. He can't be the world champion on SmackDown because that's Cody Rhodes' domain. He can't be the world champion on Monday Night Raw because that is Seth Rollins. And then it's going to be CM Punk. What happens after that, I don't know. I can't give you a glimpse into the crystal ball for 2026. I don't know. Maybe a shot at the Intercontinental Championship is in his future. He's not factoring into the main event scene. At this point, I don't even think he wants the World Championship. He just wants revenge against the Vision. Whatever the fuck that looks like. But I did say when Rollins starts to need to add to the team for War Games, when he starts adding bodies to the Vision, he's got to add a couple of guys. Usually War Games is 5-on-5. Who are going to be the other two? Rollins, Reed, Breaker. Could one of those names be LA Knight? Could LA Knight be turning heel? Could LA Knight be joining the Vision? If you can't beat him, join him. How many weeks is he going to want to put up with this shit? Monday Night Raw was decent. It wasn't like, oh my God, man, this was a great go-home show. I like the fact that they weave the Jey Uso, Jimmy Uso, and LA Knight story from beginning all the way to the end, with the payoff at the end with LA Knight getting the BFT on Jey Uso. I like shows that have weaved in storylines throughout the 2.5 hours. I'd like to see more companies do that. I don't expect that every single week, but when it does happen, I do appreciate it because we don't see it all that often. John Cena cut a promo. He didn't really answer the question of why Brock Lesnar attacked him. The Becky Lynch, Seth Rollins, CM Punk, and AJ Lee segment was fucking great. I enjoyed it. WrestlePalooza is shaping up to be a banger show. And I put my notes away before I could go over what the actual WrestlePalooza card is going to be. John Cena versus Brock Lesnar. Apparently that's the main event. I could see something happening at the end of that show, someone returning. Maybe it sets up John Cena's next opponent. Maybe John Cena goes on the injured list, quote unquote, and they write him off television until his next appearance. CM Punk, AJ Lee, Rollins, and Becky Lynch mixed tag team match. Io Sky versus Stephanie Vaquer for the Women's Championship. Cody Rhodes versus Drew McIntyre for the undisputed WWE Championship. And the Usos versus Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed. Tag team match, the reunion of the Usos. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 matches. I don't know why they are so keen on delivering only 5 matches. The amount of money you're charging for people to sit in that building, the least you could do is give us 6 or 7 matches. Evolution got 7 matches. Why is this any different? Hopefully we have one more show. Hopefully something is added to the show on Friday. I don't know why Rhea Ripley is not a part of this show. I'd absolutely add Rhea and Asuka. I don't know why it hasn't been added. Maybe we get Tiffany versus Jade versus Nia being added to the show. That'll be the 6th. Not really blowing me away with that one, but maybe we get that. Maybe we get Aleister Black versus Damian Priest. Maybe we get Sami Zayn versus Solo Sikoa for the United States Championship. Or Sami Zayn versus Carmelo Hayes for the United States Championship. Don't know why they don't do that. That's an easy win right there. Save it for the show on Saturday. Sami wants an open challenge. Show up in Indianapolis. Have Carmelo Hayes show up. Have them put on a 15-minute banger. Is that so much to ask? With this creative, yes. Yes, it is. Tiffany's not cleared. That's right. Yeah, Tiffany's no way cleared, man. Did you see the bump she took on Friday? That moonsault fucked her up. I am not surprised she's not cleared. Thank you guys for joining me on this Monday night. We're going to get into the super chats. Clearly, by the looks of it, we'll be out of here very quickly. Super chats are open if you guys want to get them on in. I would greatly appreciate it. Follow me on social media at JDfromNY206, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Cameo. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on the bell for notifications. Go check out all the content on the channel. There's plenty of it, including last night's Andrade video where we talk about his release, his termination from WWE. Plus all the great live streams that we did last week, man. Everything is right there for you. YouTube hopefully has corrected itself. We were great on Friday. Monetized very, very quickly. Hopefully more of the same tonight. Remember, tomorrow, Tuesday Night Titans with me and the Solomonster, 8:30 p.m. Should be a great show. We got WrestlePalooza preview and predictions. We'll talk about Andrade. We'll talk about a few other things that are making the waves in the news, man. I may have some extra coming out tomorrow as well, so look forward to that. Something that I think will pique a lot of people's interest and cause a little bit of controversy. I'm known to do that. So tomorrow night, 8:30, Tuesday Night Titans. Me and the Solomonster, 8:30 p.m. Eastern, right here on the channel. Hit that thumbs up. Let's try for 800 likes. We're about 100 away from the goal. So if you guys want to go and hit that thumbs up, if you have not done so, please do so. Tonight, we're sponsored by Blue Chew. Fellas and ladies, tonight's Raw had AJ Lee taking her first bump in over 10 years. John Cena cutting a very valiant promo that he is going to take on the Beast at WrestlePalooza. And we had El Grande Americano need help from the other Americanos. But let me tell you, none of that is bigger than what happens when you bring Blue Chew into the bedroom. Blue Chew's chewable tablets are like giving your entrance theme pyro. a steel chair, and a main event push all at the same time. Stronger, harder, longer lasting. We're talking a WrestleMania level performance in the privacy of your own ring. And last time I had someone tell me they tried Blue Chew, their manhood cut a promo on me, right? Telling me, bro, this shit works wonders. This shit works wonders. He told me he cut a promo on his wife mid-match. Said Missionary was too basic and demanded a ladder match stipulation. He had to call creative. And listen, this isn't just about performance. It's about legacy, or should I say, your third legacy. Give her and the group chat something to talk about, because when you lay it down, they'll be talking about how it gets up. And we got a special deal for our listeners. As always, get your first month free of Blue Chew on me. Use the promo code JD at checkout and pay $5. That's it. $5 shipping and handling. Blue Chew's mission is to upgrade humanity one thrust at a time. Head to BlueChew.com for all the details and safety info. And thanks to Blue Chew for sponsoring the podcast right here on Off the Script. Love my friends over at Blue Chew. Always great to have them on board. Wednesday, we're back with Turtle Beach. So look forward to that. Super chats. Let's get them on in here. Michael Krause with a $2 super chat. Good Monday, JD and Off the Script. How is everyone? Let's go. Yeah. Thank you, Michael. Michelle with it, too. Looks like Punk AJ wins Saturday. Maybe a GTS to Becky. Now, I'm thinking more of a stomp to AJ. Stomp to AJ Lee. Hardy Punk Steel Cage 09 with a $2 super chat. Timothy James with the OTS VIP shirt. Fucking legend. Who is this Timothy James, and where is he wearing an OTS VIP t-shirt? That's what I want to know. What are you talking about, Hardy Punk? What are you talking about there? Lucas with a $4.99. Unfortunately, we're back to the 5-match format, but this is probably the best 5-match card to date, in my opinion. You know, that's fair to say, Lucas. That is very fair to say. Also, Lucas, the $4.99. Me saying Raw was a bad show tonight would be me lying. It was not a bad show by any means. No, it wasn't a bad show. It's just very regular. It's nothing too exciting, nothing too crazy, nothing overly offensive and terrible. Very middle of the road. Timothy James. Oh, there's Timothy James. I thought Timothy James was at the show. Oh, he was at the show. Hi, JD. Sat ringside, and the camera got some shots of my shirt for a shout-out to the greatest in the IWC, JD's OTS VIP front row. Hope you saw it. I did not see it. I'm blind as a fucking bat. I'm sorry, I got to go back and watch. Can anyone tell me where actually they saw it so I can go back and look at it? I appreciate that, Timothy. Thank you, brother. And thank you for being a member for 8 months, man. I missed that. I missed that. Cena Gunther for Crown Jewel? I could see that. I would prefer Cena Gunther for his final match. I don't know who his final match is going to be. Honestly. Timothy, thank you, brother. WrestleMess with a $4.99. Do you think WWE's going to run Mysterio versus Mysterio for the AAA Mega title to eventually get Ray's name in the title lineage? Prayers up for Solo. I do think so. I do. Like I said on my Andrade video, these AAA shows are nothing more than glorified Mexican takeovers, bro. That's all they are. It is basically Mexican NXT. Is what it is. You can see that they're turning it into that. We're not dumb. Hard cam area, wearing a neon green sweatshirt, and the shirt was gray. Yeah, but what part of the show, bro? He was at Raw tonight, front row. Yeah, but what part of the show? I guess I could look at any part of the show, and he was sitting right there. I got to go back and look. You know, when something like this happens, it's up to you guys to screenshot it for me so I can see it on Twitter. Because I don't pay attention to everything. You got to let me know. WrestleMess, thank you, brother. Yes, I do think that. J Real 247 with the 5. JD, thank you for watching this shit, so most of us don't have to. And you guys can thank Jesse on Wednesdays for watching Collision, so you don't have to. Sidro with a $2 super chat. How you keep a ghost in shape? You exorcise it. Yes. Yes, I'm very well aware. Thank God I don't have to go through that. Sidro with a 2. People made of atoms. Every fam is the Addams family. Get it? Addams. A-T-O-M-S. You guys remember Atom Bomb? I used to love Atom Bomb. I thought that was a great look for him. WrestleMess with a $4.99. Nick Khan definitely had his hand in production with the presentation of Canelo and Crawford. The whole event was a grand spectacle like Boxing Mania. Bro, the live gate was $47 million. They had 72,000 people in that venue, bro. 72,000 people at Allegiant Stadium. You believe that? Are Dana White and Nick Khan bringing boxing back to prominence? I don't know. Oh, and by the way, if you don't think Saudi has enough money to bring John Cena out of retirement in 2027 for a WrestleMania match, for WrestleMania 43, they just coaxed Tom Brady to come out of retirement along with Gronkowski to play flag football in Saudi Arabia. So if you don't think that money talks, especially for John Cena, just wait. Just wait. When Dave Meltzer is reporting that The Rock is finalizing a deal that will see him get paid more than any professional wrestler in the history of wrestling. Guarantee you that WrestleMania deal is worth at least $500 million. Hellfire Kai with a $5 super chat. JD, did you watch the fight last Saturday? Since Andrade has gone from WWE and word about if and when Keith Lee comes back to WWE and Alistair's booking. I did not watch the fight last Saturday. I truly did not care. I opted to rewatch the original Alien movie from 1979 because I'm watching Alien Earth on FX weekly. So I wanted to go back and watch. I don't really care for boxing. I don't care for a lot of things. I just don't care. Since Andrade's gone, I'm worried about if and when Keith Lee comes back. Keith Lee's got bigger things to worry about, and that is all the time that he is currently adding up on top of his contract existing with AEW. He'll be in Guantanamo Bay for many, many more months to come. And Aleister Black's booking, none of them have really hit their stride. I don't know what the fuck there's a bigger problem on Friday Night SmackDown, and his name is Brian James. And we need to get him away from the fucking writer's room. Andrew H. with a $1.99. Denise, laughing emoji. Awful content. Endless boredom with a $1.99. JD and Finn not defending titles needs studying. Who would you like them to defend the titles against? Endless. There are no other teams in the division. Louis Garibay with a $4.99. Hey, JD, I appreciate what you do. Do you think Andrade makes an appearance at CMLL Anniversary? I don't know. I don't know what they do with Andrade. I don't know if Andrade has a 90-day non-compete clause attached to his WWE termination. I don't know. Michael Krause with a $2 super chat. No story, AEW or same stuff, WWE. Who is worse? They're both bad, bro. Pro wrestling this year is awful. WWE lives for the moments, and AEW thinks that providing great pro wrestling is all that you need. No. No, we need story. Story is what matters most. Story is what makes the matches mean more. Shawn Michaels might end up winning Booker of the Year. And he books like a fucking crackhead and fucking meth head all in one. Just random every fucking week. Captain Solo with a $5 super chat. You ever try Samuel Adams Jacko Pumpkin Spice Ale? Yes, I have. Love it. What's a seasonal fall beer you can recommend for me? Southern Tier Pumpkin. It comes in Nitro Pumpkin. It comes in Whiskey Barrel Pumpkin. Victory has a great pumpkin ale. Weyerbacher has a great pumpkin ale. Great pumpkin ales. And Justin with a 37 months. So honest question, is Michael Cole on vacation or did WWE write him off? Michael Cole was in Vegas on Friday. He'll be back on this coming Friday SmackDown going into the pay-per-view because he'll be calling the pay-per-view with Corey Graves. Thank you guys for a great stream. Sorry for the technical hiccup, but my Rodecaster Pro 2 wanted to shit the bed as soon as I went live. Tomorrow night, Soul Monster and I, another great episode of Tuesday Night Titans. Make sure you guys join us with all the fun, all the news and rumors tomorrow, 8:30 p.m., right here on this channel. Hit that thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on the bell for notifications. And please go check out all the other content on the channel. Plenty of it. And follow me on social media at JDfromNY206, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Cameo on sale now. $20 cameos coming to Cameo this fall. Make sure you guys hit that up. And I'll see you right back here tomorrow night live for Tuesday Night Titans. I'll see you guys later.